The meeting of the Washington County Quorum Court Personnel Committee will now come to order. And I've asked JPNS to lead us in the prayer and the pledge.
So we're going to take a moment of silence, and I welcome you to connect in every meaningful way that you want to connect. Pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any changes to be made to the agenda? I'd be looking for it.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as is. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. Thank you. Item number 4, we have a request from the coroner, Roger Morris, to adjust the pay of the office manager position. Yes.
May I just ask a question of our HR director who's here?
Your mic, please.
Oh. Is it okay if I just ask a question of our HR director since the coroner is not here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
I was just curious, since he's moving an incumbent to a position that has been held for a while by the previous incumbent, is it customary to bring a new employee in at the same salary level as the departing employee? And she's not really new, and he says she's broad
part-time.
experience.
Yeah, she's part-time. And so I think the thing is that because she will be doing outside of administrative functions, she'll be doing operational blood draws and treatment of cadavers. I believe that's why he wants her to come in at the same rate as the office manager.
Because she'll be doing what?
She will be doing blood draws, which they must do before they treat the cadavers, excuse my pronunciation of that.
Okay, I think the pay will be just fine. I didn't realize office managers did that.
Well, they don't, but I think what he's doing is that he's
He's
the
blending
operational.
the
Yes,
two.
he's blending that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That explains a lot.
They're drawing, she's been gone to school and trained to draw the bodily fluids from the cadavers. Yes, ma'am.
I actually spoke to our coroner about this. He has kind of been challenged with the pay in his office, and if you've met with our coroner before when he's come before us, he's sort of afraid to ask us for things. So I think he's been reluctant to sort of push for his employees' pay, but he shared with me that he struggled. He's got the employee that's leaving is actually leaving due to pay. And so I think it was really part of his mission to make sure that he could keep this employee that he has, but reward that employee with a little bit better pay rate. $13 an hour is not a whole lot of money.
That's right.
But it means a lot to this individual. And he did share that she's got obviously some skills that exceed an office manager because she is trained to do blood
Yes,
draws. So I don't know why he's not here, because he and I spoke about this at least a couple times last week. But I would urge you to support it because I think it's due.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Roger did call me and let me know that he was gonna be out of town for a charity
Yeah, he had a
issue.
charity commitment that he couldn't break.
It was a long-time commitment, and said that he would break that commitment if I thought it was necessary, and I couldn't see any way that it would be.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is any further discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Will this be passed on to Budget and Finance? Or is it just, no, it's just personnel because it's a
this
lateral
is-
move and it's already in
Yes,
this
just
budget?
personnel.
It's just a personnel issue.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain that to me, the lateral move? Because it's a lateral move, it stays in, or it just goes through this committee and not on to finance?
If it's not going to affect the budget financially,
Because there's already a position, okay,
the
thank you.
position's already there. Okay. Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And there is none. Thank you. The next item, number 5, is we have a request from Judge Joseph Wood to change the title of Computer Software Design Technician, Grade 18, to Desktop Support Technician, Grade 18, in the Information Technology budget for 2019.
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
We have a motion and a second for approval. And this one will have to go on to budget. Is there? Yes, ma'am.
Did you not just say it's just, there wasn't a grade increase? It was just title
It's just a title change, but you have an ordinance there, so it,
for
With-
approval?
With a due pass recommendation.
With the due pass
Yes,
recommendation.
yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you. And we have a second on that.
second.
We have a motion and a second to pass this on to budget with a due pass recommendation. Is there a further question or discussion? If there is none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we have no opposition. Thank you. Let's go to item number 6. We have a request from Prosecuting Attorney Matt Durrett to adjust the pay of the Juvenile Case Coordinator position. This, yes,
Because it is a pay reduction and making sure that all is well with Ms. Walker, could the reason for the reduction be disclosed?
Mr. Watson, do you have any further?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
the fact is that the current occupant of the position is long-serving employee will be leaving, excuse me, will be leaving in a few weeks. And Ms. Walker felt for both professional and private reasons, it might be a good move for her to go to this position. Having said that, and not very sure of the likelihood of being able to get a quick fill to back place behind her in her position, and due to her extensive knowledge of the operations of the office, she's also made an informal offer to help in the transition in regards to helping in her old job until that position is fully filled. And so doing both the juvenile case coordinator and the office manager position. Did that answer your question, JP? Thank you.
Any further question? And this one is to be approved in Personnel Committee.
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? There are none. Thank you. The next item is a request from Circuit Clerk Kyle Sylvester to adjust the pay of the Deputy Circuit Clerk position. And this one is a personnel issue as well.
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
We have a motion to approve the request and a second. Any questions or further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Item number 8, we have a request from Judge Joseph Wood to change the title of Heavy Equipment Operator Grade 11 to Assistant Office Manager Grade 10 in the Road Department for 2019. And this one will go on for approval. It'll go before the Budget Committee. Yes, ma'am.
It does seem that the duties of a heavy equipment operator and an assistant office manager might not be all that similar. And I understand this is for expediency, probably, that's a slot that's empty. Are we having trouble hiring heavy equipment operators because
We're having trouble maintaining a quantum of them. They have a chronic shortage of them.
how many vacancies do we have in
It
heavy?
varies between, it's gone as high as 7. It averages around 6. What it is because of the pay, again, what happens is that the younger folks who come in to do the job, some of them not always have CDLs. And the thing is that they'll do a job for a while, but between paying their insurances and that sort of thing and other, personal expenses, they get a modicum of skills, and then all of a sudden they get a better offer, either from the city or from a private contract, and then they're gone. And so that's a continual attrition issue.
I would figure with the construction going on around here,
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
heavy equipment operators are in heavy demand.
Yes, they are.
Is our pay out of line with the area prevailing?
Yes. From what a private industry can provide, yes.
And young people are not as enchanted with retirement and some of those benefits?
Well, when you're at that age, you're more about the moment. And the future is very, very over the horizon for a lot of those folks. Even for ones who are young marrieds, you know what I mean? And so in that regard, yeah, it's not a priority when you talk about the benefits. The benefit part, whilst it's attractive for people like us who can see the bigger picture, the total compensation picture, for someone in their 20s, not so much.
Do we help them get the CDL?
We do.
So it's a good starting place.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions?
I move we grant the request.
Motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. And now, at this time, we do have we have a public comment time. If there any member of the public would like to come up and discuss
Thank you, Court.
personnel issues. I see no one coming forward, so might entertain a.
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? There are none.